The recent escalation in attacks this week by Russian-backed militants near Donetsk in East Ukraine has reignited talk across the Atlantic about extending sanctions against Moscow. The subsequent economic fallout in Russia preceding the first several rounds of measures has hit key financial and oil sectors hard, but has failed to persuade President Vladimir Putin into changing his foreign policy goals towards Ukraine. That despite a long period of relatively low oil prices and billions of dollars of capital flight from Russia. Now the White House and a number of top EU officials have renewed calls to ratchet up sanctions if the Kremlin fails to pull back regular Russian troops scattered among militant ranks. But will the sanctions remain, and what are the other options? Johannes Hahn, a top European Commission official, argues that stabilizing Ukraine's budget is just as important as responding to tanks and artillery attacks in Donbass. He said although de-escalating the conflict in Ukraine was one thing, dealing with the bad overall economic situation is another. Hahn added that the EU had already provided vast amounts of money to Ukraine and that such donations could not continue forever. Here in Washington, some EU and US analysts argue sanctions should be maintained to avoid another flare-up in battles.
I am confident that the Europeans will keep the sanctions on. They're not going to be eased, they're not going to be lifted, given the fact that the Kremlin's continuing to commit aggression in Ukraine. But I'm skeptical they're willing to raise them. I wish they would. I believe in it, but I'm not sure it'll happen.
As the Kremlin courts European mainstream parties in order to create dissent within the ranks in Brussels, it seems the USA's pressure is necessary to prevent any Minsk peace accords from veering off course again.